Okay, change of plans. We're gonna go ahead and find something else to do. Once again, change of plans. Okay, so that was a giant waste of time. Good morning, everybody. So, had to split this video in half. It was getting pretty long. If you can't tell by the way I sound, I feel like absolute crap this morning. Throat's all scratchy, coughing, yeah, the works. But, you know, this stuff isn't gonna get done unless I do it, so gotta just kind of push through it. So because I'm not really feeling that great, I'm really just going to be setting the cameras up today, letting them run, and I will do probably voiceover work, you know, whenever I'm editing. Or, I don't know, if I start to feel better, I might stop and let you know, let you guys know my process. I can't even talk right now. But some of the things you saw in the last video, you know, I cut off the overhang. I had a buddy who came in who wants to remain nameless, come in, and him and his guys ripped off and disposed of the asbestos siding for me, so that was a huge help. And then I was kind of tearing into the wall here, as you guys can see, getting situated for the electrical. Now some of the things that I want to do today, hold on. Sorry, I can't flip the screen on my camera while it's recording, and I wanted to make sure I was pointing at the stuff I'm talking about. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Some of the stuff I want to get taken care of today is, firstly, I want to get my top plate nailed on. You saw me chalk that line in the last video, so I'll nail the top plate on. I'll build my little wall extension here. I need to move, I just hooked this junction box up here just so that we could have power inside. That circuit is connected to all the upstairs interior outlets, so I just threw that together real quick so we could have power inside. I do need to move that up here into the attic so that we have access to it, so that it's not buried in the wall. That is not up to code. Putting it up there so that we have access, that is what you need to be compliant with code for a junction box. I need to run 14-3 wire, 14 gauge wire with 3, not including the ground, conductor wires, I think they are, from this interior box here, specifically this hole, through this wall, underneath the window, back up to this light box here. Then I believe I'll have to double check the schematics. I'm not an electrician, so I do need to look this stuff up and refresh my memory. But I believe 14-3 then goes from this switch to the lights. It could be 14-2, either way. I have both wires. I do need to leave this stuff open so that the inspector can check the electrical that I ran. And then I need to trace this wire back inside and remove it from the junction box that's in my office right down here, just because coming out of that junction box is our floodlight up on the peak of the house over there. So right now the power is killed to that, so we don't have power to that light. I would like to restore that, but first I need to remove this wire completely so that we don't have a live dead end wire just hanging out in the wall. Oh, that took a lot of energy. So I'm just, like I said, I'm getting the camera set up, and it's just going to be running. I'll do voiceovers at some point in time, and yeah, we'll go from there. Enjoy. Okay, so I ended up cutting off that flashing right up there, and then I was using my chalk line there to nail that top plate up. I'm going to have it stop right at this 2x4. You can see right where that ends. We'll have one 2x6 or 2x4, whatever I'm going to use, come down and hit a plate here, and then we'll bring one down right along the side of the house as well. That way I know everything will be good and solid there. We won't have to worry about anything shifting or moving, and then we can get some holes drilled and run some wire. Now, when you're using cut nails, if you're not familiar, they do get pretty wide, so you want to make sure you run it with the grain. So my grain's running this way. I want to make sure my cut nail is also running that way. It'll go in a lot nicer for you, and there's less of a risk of splitting the wood. You definitely don't want to miss and hit your finger when driving a cut nail in, because that will hurt. Pulled off a couple extra boards there, and I decided to jump to that junction box because Rachel is actually not here right now. She took the girls out to Cranberry to do some running around, so I figured if I'm gonna kill the power to the Wi-Fi and everything upstairs, I might as well just do it whenever she's not home. So move that junction box up top there and left a decent amount of slack so that if I ever need to access that, I can just get up into the attic, come over to this edge, and I'll be able to pull that up into the attic and you know, disconnect it or do whatever I need to. I cleared out all the insulation here and pulled it all back. Now this is all insulation that was blown in from a company that the previous owner had hired, so I would like to save it because that is nice dense material. Afterwards, well, before that, you guys saw me chalk some lines. Again, my holes are nice and straight for the wire. We drilled 2 holes the whole way down. Now right here, you can't have your electric cross water. So I'm going to be picking that spigot up to here. So my wiring is going to come out here, follow this stud up, and then we're going to come over here. And I have 2 other holes so that we can bring that wire up and in. So now we are good to start pulling wire for these lights to the light switch. What we need to do is run, so we'll have power coming into this box for the light switch. That will be 14.2 wire. We'll have 14.3 wire going from that box through this wall, through those holes we just drilled, up in, wrapping around this corner and down into this box. Now again, that is 14.3, and then we will have 14.2 coming out of this box up the studding, and then I'm gonna need to drill some more holes or do something. I'll figure it out here in a minute, to get my power up to these lights, and we'll connect them up to here. We'll run our power to there. That way, when we're hooking all these lights up, we're good to go for that. So I'm gonna start doing that, and while I'm on the wiring, I might as well finish up this. I need to run a piece of 14.2 up this rafter here, across my collar tie, and down this rafter here. Oh, that was a cavity off. To connect these strands of lights. So we'll go ahead and get all that done next. Okay, change of plans. Once again, that seems to be a common theme for this project. So like you guys just saw, I went ahead and I ripped off the rest of this wood planking over here. Made sure it was clear up top here. I cleaned up all the insulation and garbage that was in here. So now I have some nice walk-in room. I'm just going to use regular insulation to fill back in all these voids, especially over here. I need to take this window out because that is kind of holding me up from going any further. So I'm going to run down to our local hardware store, get a sheet of drywall, get a piece of plywood. I need to go up to the garage and rip some studs because these are really old-fashioned studs. They're actually 3 3/4 inch wide. They're not, you know, the 3.5 like we're normally used to. So I need to go rip a couple pieces of board so I can re-stud this. And then I'm going to jump inside, pop the trim out, cut the screws. Hopefully that window just pops right out. Clean up the insulation, throw some studs in real quick, put my drywall, or patch that with drywall. I have insulation up in the attic I still need to get out. I can fluff that back in maybe a little bit. I don't even know if it's worth it. And then I can start ripping my plywood to go up these studs and pad that back out. Okay, so I got the trim off the inside, got the screws pulled, and they're actually just sitting right in here. Boy, that screen's dirty. I need to go ahead and take my Sawzall and cut the insulation out and free that window. And I mean, in theory, that should come right out. So, punch another hole in my house. This is awesome. Okay, so my framing's done. I had to pad this in so that I had a nailer for my drywall. Then I put a, I did that the whole way around. Then I did a center one just to make sure I have somewhere else other than a, 3.5 foot opening to nail drywall to. Sorry, to screw drywall to. Sorry, I'm in a hurry, so I'm a little bit rushed. But one thing I wanted to point out, I'm not 100% sure what that was. So if I think of it, I'll do it in voiceover, but now we're off to my favorite thing in the world, which is drywall. And if you know me, you know that is 100% sarcasm. I hate drywall more than anything in the world. And now that I am talking about that, I remembered. This used to be the old windowsill, and all windowsills should slope out. That way when snow and ice and water hits it, it has somewhere to go rather than rest up against the window. So there is a little bit of a gap there. That's why I ran screws in through here. It's a little bit easier to make sure I had it nice and straight, nice and level, going across there for my studs to sit on. So I'm gonna go ahead, get the drywall out of my truck and get it cut and hung. Maybe even get a coat of mud on it. I don't know. I hate drywall with a passion, so that's not gonna be something I'm hurrying on. Okay, so that went on pretty smooth, actually. You know, this is a little bit different for me because this is a textured wall, so I am gonna have to try to teach myself on how to mimic that sort of messed up pattern on this area here. That way it doesn't jump out at you like a giant eyesore or a big smooth spot. Not that my drywall work is that smooth, because let's be honest, it really isn't. I hate it with a passion so unbelievably much. Don't even tell me it's just like concrete, because it's really not. I don't know what it is about drywall, but every single step of it, going to the store to buy it, loading it, unloading it, hanging it, cutting it, finishing it, I hate it. I hate every single step of drywall. I told Rachel that if we had two options, I would finish drywall and I would make $1 million a day, or be homeless. We're gonna be homeless, because I hate drywall so much. But anyways, I'm gonna cut this video here. I feel like we're probably starting to get a little bit lengthy. So make sure you jump back on in a few days to see how this turned out, and you know, hopefully I don't have to censor myself too much. But yeah, I mean, you know, I got a lot done out there. I would show you, but it's very, very dark out there. Got all of that stuff torn off, insulations dealt with. I didn't specify that insulation. I called my local landfill, asked them, you know, what I'm supposed to do with it, explained what I had, and they said, honestly, that stuff, put it in a bag, leave it by your cans, we'll pick it up. They recycle it there. They said I can drop it off if I choose, but you know, the garbage truck's coming in a day or two. They'll make a note of it, they'll pick it up and deal with it. Good riddance. Got this window taken out, patched up, so things are moving right along now. I am kind of up, I am caught up on my filming and editing, so you know, it is Friday night, so you guys should be seeing this either Monday or Tuesday. Can't remember when that last video came out, but I am trying to get a video out for you guys every 4 to 5 days now. You know, it is just a little bit difficult juggling work with this, with the kids, with Rachel, with the property, so plus the holidays, so just trying to do what I can. So once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning back in to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. That's a big way to support this channel, so thank you guys to everybody who has shown me any sort of support, whether it's liking and subscribing my videos or jumping over to our Etsy store and taking a look at the products we have. I did notice an uptick in the views, and when I go into the analytics of that, at first that uptick was from you guys going over and checking everything out, but I noticed that as that number grew, so did the just regular Etsy traffic. So the algorithm is working. The more times you guys go and even just click on the link for my store, which is in the description, it does help that, you know, the everyday traffic. So I want to thank you guys for always supporting this channel and doing everything you have been doing. Thank you guys a ton. I will see you next time. Have a great night.